Coming back strong from the previous episode with another dating topic, but this time revolving around my territory. Sapphic romance, y'all. I'm talking about the lesbians. I'm talking about the woo-woos. If you ever wonder kung ano ba yung WLW na nakikita nyo sa sockbeds nyo, kami yun. So for basic info, WLW stands for Woman Loving Woman. And the opposite of it, yeah, you guessed it, misogyny. I mean, misogyny nga kung you don't love women. But yeah, I mean, in the sense of the act itself, yun. But for the other gender, for the other sex, gay men, it's MLM. Men loving men. Yun. Just a short context, we're here to be educated. So, ito yung napili kong topic kasi other than the fact na, yun nga, dating din yung last episode, just specifically how the culture is in the modern setting, I just thought so many things are misinterpreted when it comes to lesbian dating. Things are not tackled or people are simply not aware of them. Since it takes experience, connection, to know those, and it takes to be an actual lesbian to be on that side of the internet. Sino pa ba mag-share ng mga yun? Kundi, ako na mismo bading, diba? Hey bunkmates, it's AG, and you're now listening to D-BUNK Podcast, decoding the world's weirdness, calling out bullshit, and having a damn good time. Sinong lalaki sa inyo? Unstrapping Lesbian Dating. That is the title of this episode. First part pa lang, nakakapang-pintig na ng tenga, diba? Pero yung second part, parang, ulala. I mean, I can't think of a better title than this, honestly. But I'm pretty proud of it. By the way, most of the stereotypes and nuances we will tackle is a bit Western in terminology because, as always, we just adapt from them. But of course, we have our own fucking dip to it. Without further ado, let's debunk the misconceptions and complex dynamics of lesbian dating and relationships. Common tropes and stereotypes. Do lesbians fall fast and hard? Truth or myth? There's this thing that is pretty common when women date other women, and that is having no sense of time. Mabilis nga naman. Mabilis talaga. Ewan ko ba, pero mabilis talaga for some reason. From calling her wifey 3 dates in to saying I love yous just within the first week. The term is crazy, to be honest. Lesbians would not be official but be acting like they're about to celebrate their 10th anniversary. Yung escalation ng mga bagay-bagay in lesbian dating is as fast as lighting up a match. Well, I guess when there's a spark, you'll just gotta let the flames ablaze. Pero this is not an all the time circumstance, but this does happen most of the fucking time. Isa sa mga observation ko, the girls I got linked with that aren't queer passing, or those obviously just straight and curious. Okay, that's the simplest way to put it. They tend to be all flabbergasted with the pacing. I don't know, it's still in the matter of preference kasi whether you like it fast or slow, if you know what I mean. But the point is that taking it slow is very much seen as heteronormative in a way. Also, do you know what U-Haul is? If you do, congratulations, you are in the lesbian side of the internet. Or you simply know the company and is still a heterosexual. Don't worry, straight ka pa rin. So the concept of U-Hauling came from the popular moving truck rental company in the USA. It's a popular term in the lesbian community because, as I mentioned, the escalation of the relationship be pretty fast most of the time. Does moving in together. I'm talking about living under the same roof with y'all's dog and or cat children. Happy family. Lesbians are described as animals with intense nesting instinct because often seen whenever we find mates, it's all locked in agad. All locked in, wala nang kawalaan, ganun. Although there's always another side to everything, life isn't perfect, and the most beautiful things in life such as love, could seem intangible because of obstacles. Obstacles tulad ng takot. Takot na mag-commit sa panibagong relationship kasi nasaktan. Takot to be genuine again after being taken for granted for so many times. Or takot na makita ng mundo kung sino ka talaga. These factors could slow down the escalation of lesbian relationships, hence break the Yuho stereotype. But one thing is for sure, there is no such thing as driving in a moderate scale in the lesbian dating culture. It's either you go beyond the speed limit or you'd be slower than a fucking turtle. But to answer the question, do lesbians fall fast and hard? Truth or myth? Of course, I can't speak in behalf of the whole community, the entire community, but I do think it's the truth. Just because I guess hopeless romantics do love hard. Another stereotype is having the trope best friends to lovers. I and many do believe that this is a universal thing in the LGBTQ plus community. Kasi one of the most cliche things queer people share in common is yung best friend nila, yung gay awakening nila. I don't relate to this though because I did not fall in love with a best friend. Back in elementary, I was best friends with a gay man, so there's that. But I do have a perspective on this. If I am not mistaken, two of my strongest friendships, still alive of course, to this day, started with flirting and being crushes. You're gonna ask, friendship lang ba kasi hindi nag-work? Hell no! It was platonic to begin with, but not in a platonic sense na sobrang wholesome in a way. Okay, here's my point. Every lesbian may not have fallen in love with their best friend, but most of us somehow manage to flirt with all of our friends. With that, I just think women are fucking great, and we be just complimenting each other back and forth until it just gets fruity. But amidst all the fruitiness, I do think we just have quality friends that are definitely dateable, but still, everything goes down to the matter of preference, and that will yet again draw the fine platonic line. And for the next one, ang pinaka-controversial na stereotype, being friends with exes. Controversial. Tinatanong pa ba yan bakit? Controversial in a sense of having the perspective na in a relationship yung taong friends pa rin with their exes. I don't think being friends with your exes is common within the community, but rather staying mutuals or being casual with each other. Kung friends pa kayo, then there's definitely a strong connection. Sobrang healthy niya in a sense na you've created this bond. Your bond is so strongly built to the point that the label of being in a relationship with them is not the limit. Or simply, nag-end lang siya in a very healthy way. Toxic naman din siya in a sense na parang hindi mo ma-let go yung someone that should be in your past na. But at the end of the day, we don't know their story. The dynamics of the relationship still depends on the individuals that are in it. Kanya-kanyang sitwasyon yan eh. Although lesbians are likely to be mutuals with their exes still, because one thing's consistent, everyone. With this culture, sapphics create relationships not just from attraction, but as well as bond, just like any other. But I do think being best friends with your partner is such a mandatory thing to the point na it's a magical thing. Last but not the least, astrology obsession stereotype. Personally, I don't think astrology is specifically lesbian coded, but I do get the perspective since umuusbong na sa community natin yung tarot readers, psychics, and even witches. Pero with witches, it's more normal sa States kasi ba't tatawag kang barang dito sa Pinas? I know you got the crystal stuff, the spells. Okay, I'm cool with that shit, but here's the Pinas. I don't think it's looked down upon because I know witchcraft is seen as demonic, but that's a different story. Although it is not exclusively seen sa sapphics, hetero people also have a fair share. But here's the thing. Y'all, walang kinalaman sa inyo sa kasamaan o ugali nyo. Stop using it as an excuse, please. You got all meany and you're just gonna be like, I'm just sassy because I'm a Gemini, or I'm a Leo, or I'm this, I'm that. No, girl, you're a bitch. Newsflash. Relationship roles and dynamics. This is a fucking opportunity to tell y'all about the lesbian classifications or types. Y'all know the basic, we got the femme and the masc, but we also have other terms like butch, stud, stem, chapstick, futch, and many more I believe that I am definitely not aware of. I just want to nerd out these types, most especially the last three I've mentioned, just because of how creative they can be. First, STEM. Ito yung pinaka-last kong na-discover. Ito yung pinaka-last kong na-discover kasi narinig ko siya sa TikTok vid. And I was like, STEM? A lesbian type? Strand ko yan eh. Like, what the fuck is STEM? And then I searched it out, of course. Ibig sabihin niya is stud, femme. So, stud plus femme, so combined, STEM. Stud na femme. It's the same with the second one, which is futch. Combination naman siya ng femme and butch. Futch. Both types basically entail the existence of femininity and masculinity in a lesbian. So studs and butches both embody masculinity, but what is the difference between the two? Of course, their common ground is being masculine. Pero ano yung pinagkaiba nila? Butch is a term that's been used for decades to describe a lesbian who presents herself in a masculine way, but with a strong sense of style and identity, associated with traditional masculine traits. These masks have short hair, like literally short, like sagad na razor, parang shete yung hairstyle nila. They would wear clothes that heteronormative males would usually wear. So basically, in a nutshell, sila yung stereotype nating tomboy na nakamiyo. Stud, on the other hand, is a term used more in the African American setting and Latina lesbian communities. It refers to women who presents, of course, masculine, but often with a strong sense of swagger and confidence. Distinct characteristic nila is being more like maangas in the hood type of way and more athletically built. Last but definitely not the least is the chapstick lesbian. It's the same with stem and futch, with being masculine and feminine in certain ways, but it goes around the concept of a chapstick being a product both femmes and mascs use. Honestly, as a lesbian myself, I do get confused with the mixture types, but I am a chapstick lesbian who can either be all tough masc and feel sexy pretty femme. So yun. Matanong nyo, why are you talking about it then if you're not certain? Because we are talking about relationship roles and dynamics. You won't get to appreciate the fluidity of lesbianism without knowing the kinds of sapphics that are out there. Because unlike a heteronormative relationship, a lesbian relationship can work without the existence of masculinity, and vice versa. It can also work without the existence of femininity. A feminine lesbian would not automatically date a masculine woman, and a masculine woman's type isn't necessarily feminine ones either. Feminine women date other feminine women, and masculine women date other masculine women. Yet again, falling into the matter of preference. Same with roles. It depends on the couple and ano yung mapagdesisyon nila. Kung nakatoka ka here, nakatoka ka there, it's still upon their decision. Again, kanya-kanya. Misconceptions on sapphic connections. In relation to the roles and dynamics portion, let's go back to the episode's title itself. The ear-scratching, gut-trembling question. Sinong lalaki sa inyo? Tangina, may utak ka ba? Pareho nga babae, tapos tatanungin mo kung sino lalaki. Okay. Medyo over doon, okay? Medyo over naman. Okay, okay. Benefit of the doubt. Okay, let's understand the perspective. Let's understand the perspective. In a traditional sense, masculine lesbians do give the impression that they want to be the man, or some do wanna be a man. Like they want to transition. Kasi yun naman talaga kanilakahan eh. In a heteronormative society, we will look for the man and the woman. We will ask, who wears the pants? We will then look for who is the spoon and who is the fork. Ever thought of chopsticks, motherfuckers? But in reality, in the more absurd, perverted sense, people are curious, especially men, about who is fucking who. Well, okay. Come here. Let me tell you. None of your fucking business. Kung ano yung nangyayari within the four corners of their bedrooms, wala na kayo dun. Kung ano yung position, ano yung role nila during lovemaking, wala na kayo dun. Wala ba kayo sa reading sex life na pwede problemahin? It's 2025. Matuto maging educated. There's a fine line between being simply curious and being straight up invasive and offensive. Pinakalas that I want to debunk for this amazing episode is the connotation that gold star lesbians are virgins. But first off, let's define what a gold star lesbian is. A gold star lesbian is a lesbian who has never had sexual relations with a man. And let us have this statement for starters. Virginity is a social construct. Virginity is a social construct. Why do we settle sa concept na it's only sex, only and only if there is penetration that involves a penis? Well, here's the hard truth, fellas. The world doesn't revolve around dicks, and the world doesn't revolve around men. Okay? Sex is sex as long as there is pleasure, and most especially if it's consensual. If y'all gonna tag a woman a virgin for only being with other women, might as well call the entire population of straight men a virgin. Why? They've never taken a dick too, right? I think that's fair enough. Y'all want equality? This is equality. Take a dick too. Well, that's it for this episode. That was really fun, and I feel like na-rage beat ata ako. I mean, that was just, I don't know, I am very connected with this topic, and I was really eager to put my thoughts out there, and yeah. Sana may napulot kayong lessons, sana may napulot kayong learnings, and I hope maging part kayo ng pag-halt ng misogyny within the lesbian community. And again, I am asking for you all to interact with me, please. I finally have an Instagram though. Lapag nyo na lang stories nyo, suggestions nyo. I've got a G-form link on there. Do your thing na lang.
So that's DBP Bonkers, and for our email, still d.bunk.pod@gmail.com.
Thank you for listening. Straights or gays, let's just bunk together as a whole generation. This is Seiji, once again, shredding your life wonders into bits. Have a good one.